Most people spend their entire lives chasing wealth, working harder, stressing more, and hoping that someday, things will finally click. They look at others who seem to have it all and think, they're lucky, or, they had a better start. But luck and chance play far less of a role than most people realize. Wealth, like everything else in life, is a vibration. The difference between those who struggle and those who attract effortlessly isn't intelligence, effort, or education, it's frequency. You don't earn wealth, you align with it. Everything in the universe vibrates at a specific rate. Every thought, emotion, and action emits a frequency. And that frequency determines what you experience. Wealth is no different. It exists as an energetic reality, always broadcasting, but most people aren't tuned to receive it. You can't listen to a symphony if your radio's tuned to static. If you feel anxious about money, you're on the frequency of fear. If you constantly talk about how expensive life is, you're on the frequency of lack. If you admire abundance but secretly resent those who have it, you're sending mixed signals. Energy doesn't lie. You attract not what you desire, but what you harmonize with. Think about electricity. You don't have to create it, you just have to plug in. The current is already there. The same applies to abundance. You don't have to force or beg for it. You just have to align with the frequency that already exists. So, what does the frequency of wealth feel like? It feels calm. It feels open. It feels certain. Wealth energy doesn't rush, panic, or cling. It's expansive, confident, and generous. When you're tuned into abundance, you know more is always flowing. You stop chasing and start magnetizing. This shift begins with awareness. Start noticing how you speak and think about money. Every statement is an energetic order. If you say, "I can't afford that," you reinforce limitation. If you say, "Money never stays with me," you instruct your subconscious to make that true. The subconscious mind doesn't understand jokes or sarcasm, it only responds to emotion. The feeling behind your words is what shapes your vibration. That's why wealthy people speak differently. They don't say, "I can't afford it." They say, "How can I afford it?" The difference is subtle but powerful. One closes the mind, the other opens it. When you think and speak from possibility, you move toward it. Wealth consciousness is not about greed or accumulation, it's about alignment with the flow of giving and receiving. Money is just energy in motion. It flows where it's welcomed and respected, not feared or judged. If you treat money like an enemy, it will avoid you. If you treat it like a trusted friend, it will stay close. Start by shifting from guilt to gratitude. Instead of resenting bills, bless them, they represent services you've received and the flow of energy in your life. Pay them with appreciation, not resentment. That single act raises your vibration around money more than most people realize. If this message resonates, take a breath and show gratitude for what you already have. Every like, comment, and subscription helps this growing community share awareness and abundance with others ready to elevate their vibration. Now, let's talk about receiving. Most people are great at giving, but uncomfortable receiving. They feel unworthy of compliments, support, or wealth, and that discomfort blocks the flow. The universe can only give through open channels. You can't hold abundance with a closed fist. To tune into the frequency of wealth, you must first believe you're worthy of having it. Not someday, not after you prove yourself, now. The energy of wealth is certainty. It's not arrogance, it's inner knowing. When you walk through life expecting good things to happen, you send out a vibration of faith. And faith, not fear, attracts flow. Wealth frequency is not about numbers, it's about energy. A person making modest income but radiating gratitude and confidence is wealthier in frequency than someone making millions but vibrating stress and scarcity. The true frequency of wealth is peace. Peace attracts prosperity because it communicates trust. The person who knows abundance is their natural state doesn't need to grasp, chase, or control. They simply allow. You can't receive when you're clenched. You receive when you relax. And that's where most people struggle. They try too hard. They chase money, worry about it, and talk about not having enough, all while trying to manifest abundance. But worry and wealth can't exist in the same vibration. You must choose one. You can't hold gratitude and fear in the same space. You can't hold generosity and scarcity in the same heart. So if you want to raise your frequency, stop focusing on getting and start focusing on giving. Give joyfully, not because you're losing, but because you're circulating energy. The law of circulation says, what you give returns multiplied. Give appreciation. Give value. Give kindness. Give faith. Every act of giving aligns you with flow, and flow always brings more back. Money doesn't come to those who chase, it comes to those who flow. When you're on the frequency of wealth, you feel no lack. You look around and see endless opportunity. You trust that the same intelligence that grows the forests and directs the tides also directs your abundance. And because you trust, you relax. And when you relax, you receive. Now, how do you tune to this frequency intentionally? There are 3 tuning forks of abundance: gratitude, imagination, and expectation. Gratitude grounds you in the now. Imagination expands your vision. Expectation locks it in. Gratitude says, I already have. Imagination says, I can become. Expectation says, it's already done. When you combine all 3, your energy becomes magnetic. Each morning, take a moment to feel gratitude for what's already in your life, not mechanically, but deeply. Feel appreciation for your breath, your body, your home, your mind, your ability to think and choose. Gratitude instantly raises your frequency. Then, use imagination, see yourself already living the life you desire. Don't imagine as a distant dream, but as a vivid present moment. Feel the joy, the freedom, the peace of that reality. Finally, expect it. Expect wealth the way you expect the sunrise, naturally, confidently, without strain. Expectation is faith in action. Faith is the frequency of all creation. If you've ever felt something just work out, that was your frequency aligning with the outcome before it happened. Faith collapses time. You don't need to see the path, you only need to trust the process. If this message has given you clarity, take a deep breath and express gratitude. Every like and share amplifies this frequency of awareness and helps others remember their own power. Now, let's remove one of the biggest blocks to abundance: guilt. So many people unconsciously reject wealth because they associate it with greed or selfishness. They think, if I have more, someone else will have less. But that's scarcity thinking, and it violates universal law. Abundance is infinite. You can't take too much from an infinite source. Wealth doesn't make you less spiritual, it expands your capacity to serve. When you have more, you can give more. When you live in overflow, you lift others out of limitation. That's why the frequency of wealth is a gift to the world, not a burden. Your prosperity uplifts everyone connected to you. You are not separate from abundance, you are abundance expressing itself. When you align your energy with that truth, you stop asking, how can I get more, and start asking, how can I express more of who I really am? Because who you are, at your core, is limitless. The moment you believe wealth is outside of you, you create separation. But when you realize wealth flows through you, everything changes. Your job is not to chase, it's to channel. You are the vessel through which the universe expresses prosperity. When you think, speak, and act from that truth, the flow of abundance becomes effortless. Opportunities come not because you need them, but because your energy calls for them. The universe doesn't reward effort, it responds to alignment. You'll know you're aligned with the frequency of wealth when you stop asking, when will it happen, and start saying, it's already happening. That's faith. That's frequency. That's power. Now, let's talk about one more key: emotional stability. Wealthy vibration isn't manic. It doesn't jump between highs and lows with every piece of news. It stays grounded, centered, and calm. Because calmness communicates confidence. When you're steady emotionally, you're steady vibrationally. And that steadiness magnetizes consistent results. If your emotions rise and fall wildly with circumstances, you send mixed frequencies. But when you remain calm, grateful, and faithful, no matter what's happening, the universe begins to trust your vibration. And that's when the floodgates open. Every outcome in your life mirrors the consistency of your energy. If you can hold a high vibration even when nothing appears to be working, you've mastered creation. True wealth is inner security, knowing that abundance flows from you, not to you. And that knowing changes everything. Take a breath. Feel that truth in your body. The energy you're feeling right now, that peace, is the frequency of wealth. Stay there often enough, and the outer evidence will follow automatically. You are already tuned in. You just need to stay aligned. If this message has helped you remember who you really are, I'm deeply grateful. Every like, comment, and subscription helps this movement of consciousness expand to more people who are ready to rise into abundance. And before we close, reflect on this question. What emotion would your wealthiest self feel every morning? Peace, gratitude, certainty. That emotion is your true currency. Comment below with the frequency you choose to live in today. Because the moment you choose it, you begin transmitting it. And that's how reality changes, quietly, powerfully, from within. The frequency of wealth isn't something to find, it's something to remember. Because the truth is, abundance has never been missing. It's been waiting for you to match it. And in the next video, we'll uncover the one habit that quietly rewires your reality, the simple daily practice that transforms your vibration, rewrites your subconscious programming, and draws success, peace, and purpose into your life effortlessly. Until then, stay aware, stay grateful, and keep tuning into the infinite possibilities of you.